back.
Yep. All right. Terry, I know we're missing Sean, but you remember the name of the show?
I actually do not remember the name of it. Let me look back.
Yeah.
The Lions Weekly Update. Now, didn't we do a show, a similar show called Woodward and Maine?
We did. We did.
Here we are.
It's still kind of like lingering out there. I don't know if that's still a thing, but we'll find out within a month or two.
They still got tape out there.
Yeah. This time of year, it's all about putting out good tape. Mm-hmm. You know, all the 4th and 5th depth chart spots on the Lions roster.
Now, I'm afraid that I must victimize you.
Uh-oh.
I'm angry about something, and I'm going to come down hard on you a little bit.
At 8:02, Terry, we just got started.
At 8:02, right.
And you're okay.
But
okay.
I have a pet peeve with people saying that the Lions' window of opportunity to go to the Super Bowl has closed.
Okay. I can get down with that. I don't know what you're going to come at me about.
My goal, actually, I'm not coming down on me. My goal is to make you a bobblehead.
Okay.
Where you either go like this or like.
That'll be the grade or how I respond depends on how this all goes.
I have something. Here's a word you haven't heard in a while: a soliloquy.
Oh,
I never heard that before.
Here's my soliloquy.
Floor is yours.
I am sick and tired of hearing this. Oh, you know, the Lions' window of opportunity is closed after 2 years. Give me a break. First of all, this is a very young team, and here's what I present the other way. Now, Brad Holmes has been a genius at drafting, right? Is all of a sudden he's going to forget how to draft? Is he going to forget about talent? Is he never going to go up to the podium and make fun of the media and the fans for saying, you were wrong on that, but he was right on that? Is that going to stop?
No.
Mr. Bobblehead. Okay. Dan Campbell, master motivator. He can make a paint on the wall do down and out. Now, all of a sudden, is Dan Campbell going to stop being a motivator? Is he going to stop saying clever things? Is he going to stop reaming people out when they need to be reamed? Okay, all right, Mr. Bobble. All right.
We got the new Bobble going. I'm going left to right because
I see that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 24 years old. Is he going to put the jugs machine away? Is he going to start dropping passes? Is he going to forget how to get open when his team really needs him to get open?
No, sir.
If you're telling me that's going to happen, then I'll agree with it. It's done. But you're saying it's not going to happen.
No.
I agree with you. Penei Sewell is a raging bull. Penei Sewell not only blocks your ass, but he puts people in headlocks and gives them swirlies and scrubs their head. Is Penei Sewell at age 24 going to stop developing as a player? Is he going to stop getting better? Is he going to stop beating people up on the field?
No.
Because if you're telling me that's going to happen, then I'll agree with you. The window of opportunity is closed, but it's not going to happen.
Wait, how old was Penei Sewell?
24.
Thank you.
He's a young boy, young fellas.
He's one of the older guys on the team.
Right.
Sorry.
From reading my little preseason magazines, a lot of people are predicting that Jahmyr Gibbs has a breakout year. He already had a damn good year last year.
Yeah.
So they're saying he's going to get better.
Yes.
So if Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get better and have a breakout year, that doesn't mean the window's closed.
No.
All right. Now, your favorite running back, David Montgomery. Does he stop being a motherfucker?
No.
No. He's going to continue to bull people over. He's going to continue his, he assaults people on the field. Is that going to stop?
Absolutely not.
Then the window of opportunity is not closed. Aiden Hutchinson. Now, we know he had a brutal leg injury. It was a broken leg. Now, for my years of covering football, when I talked to doctors about injuries and stuff, they always said, don't worry about the broken leg.
Yeah.
But they said fans and media worry more about that because they don't see it very much. And usually the you see the leg bending and it freaks people out. They say you should be more afraid of ligament damage, more knees,
Achilles.
Achilles is a killer.
That's happening
Backs,
a lot more. Yeah,
stuff like that. So, Aiden Hutchinson is going to come back, and he's going to have a really good season.
Yes.
It may not happen at first, but if you tell me Aiden Hutchinson is not going to come back, he's not going to be healthy, then maybe I could agree that the window is closed. But I don't think any of that stuff is going to happen. Let's look at the defensive coordinators, John Morton and Kelvin Shepard.
Yeah. John Morton on offense, Kelvin Shepard on defense.
Right. Are you telling me these guys are going to be complete morons when they take over the offense and defense?
No. Because you know who hired them? Dan Campbell.
Correct.
Kelvin Shepard's a first-year DC, but Dan Campbell hired him. Johnny Morton helped install this current Lions offense a couple of years ago and has offensive coordinator experience and worked under Sean Payton, and Dan Campbell hired him. So, no, I don't.
Here's why I think these guys are going to be great.
Yeah.
There's a guy on staff called David Shaw.
Oh.
He didn't get the offensive or defensive coordinator, and people look at him in such high regard. They're saying he should run college football.
Yeah. He's that kind of guy.
He's that kind of guy.
You know
so these guys must have their stuff together.
Yeah, David Shaw, he's Johnny Morton's best friend.
Right.
They're best friend. They came up the ranks under John Gruden, and they are best friends. That's two offensive coordinators in one.
Now, here's what I will admit. Perhaps John Morton, Kelvin Shepard could have some growing pains.
Yeah.
Maybe the defense and offense won't be as stealth as we want it to be.
Maybe.
At first. But isn't it possible that they could have 7 or 8 games of mediocre play and then recover after that? Isn't it possible that they could be off this whole year, come back next year, and coordinate at the level of what we're used to?
Yes.
Isn't that possible?
It's possible. And if I remember correctly, even last year's offense really didn't start clicking until week 6 against the Cowboys, which they said all along in training camp. We're trying to get to 401 level offense. So it didn't look perfect.
And why did that happen? Because Dan Campbell doesn't play people in the preseason.
Right.
Okay?
Smart.
Aleem McNeil. I know he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
He may not be back until November. But is he retiring?
No.
Is
He's
this
young.
a career-ending injury?
No.
Which means he'll be back, right?
Yeah. He's
And when
young.
he played, he was like one of the top 4 interior linemen in football.
Yeah. Unquestionably top 10. You could have there's a good argument he's top 5, top 4.
Okay.
25 years old.
So, yeah, he's 25.
25.
25. He's still a young pup.
Uh-huh.
Young
So
blood.
that tells you in the interior the window is not closed.
No.
Sam Laporta,
Yeah, keep going.
in a recent
Yeah.
polling of NFL general managers
Mm-hmm.
who should know better than me, who should know better than you, who should know better than most anybody, they named Sam Laporta the number 3 tight end in football.
Yeah. All I've heard, though, Terry, this offseason, he had a down year and he's regressing.
Well, he had a down year, but doesn't mean he's regressing.
Thank you.
All
yeah.
right. So that is another sign of the window being open.
Mm-hmm.
I think the window is wide open.
I think it's widening.
Right.
It's continuing.
But I think people are telling me the window's closed just to piss me off.
I think they are.
And you know what? It's not working. Well, maybe it is a
It
little
looks like it's working. Terry, you didn't even mention Jack Campbell, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold.
I didn't get now Hansy. That's my guy.
That's your guy,
Terrion
Hansy.
Arnold.
And
I've
Senior.
heard that he didn't have a good rookie season.
That's what they say.
My eyes are telling me that he did.
Me too.
That he really grew. Yes, he was handsy. Yes, he got a lot of pass interference penalties. But the NFL is set up for wide receivers to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's set up for defensive backs to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I make fun and call him handsy, but you know what? At least he's on the play.
Yeah.
He's not like 5-6 yards away and stuff like that. So that tells me this young man is going to get better. This guy is going to not commit as many penalties, and he's going to be in on the play even closer now.
We've been spoiled over the last couple of years to see guys like Sauce Gardner have incredible rookie seasons. He's regressed a little bit, or at least hasn't had the type of next couple of years that everyone expected. Derek Stingley Jr., I know he was hurt. Cornerbacks, sometimes it takes a minute. But, Terry, do you know what one player in the NFL took the most snaps in man-to-man coverage as a defensive back? It was Terrion Arnold. It was Hansy.
Okay, I can believe that.
As a rookie, he took the most snaps in man coverage of any player in the NFL, Terrion Arnold. And the second most, I think, PI calls. Also a top 10 rated cornerback by the executives, DJ Reed, who they signed from the New York Jets.
Right. So if you're telling me that Terrion Arnold is going to get worse his second season than his first season, then maybe the window is closed.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not.
All right. And Brian Branch.
Yeah.
Brian Branch, top 3 safeties in football.
Exec said number 2.
Yeah.
Ahead of Kirby Joseph, ahead of Xavier McKinney, ahead of who's the dude in Atlanta from Cincinnati? Number 2 after Kyle Hamilton.
Now, let's talk about Kirby Joseph.
I love Kirby Joseph.
Kirby Joseph is a hell of a player.
Stunning.
Very good.
Rambunctious.
Right. He would be the leading safety on most teams.
Yeah.
He led the league in interceptions. But what do you and I say? Second best safety on his own team.
Yep.
Because of Brian Branch.
Yeah.
Does that sound like the window's closing?
Nope. It's getting wider. It's getting wider.
So let's get that window seat, because the window is not closed. And let me address the Lion fans. There are those out there who want to believe, and there's those who freak out every time you bring up the Lions, because you believe that the old line is going to all of a sudden creep in and take over. That's not happening.
No.
This team is going to be good. And in fact, I'm going to make a prediction.
Give it to me, Terry.
No matter what the Lions do this regular season, this fan base is going to freak out.
Yeah.
If they win 15 games, which they won't, they will say, well, so what? They won 15 games last year and got body slammed by the Commanders. Okay? Or if the Lions win 12 or 13 games, they're regressing.
Yeah.
And you guys are not recognizing it, so they have no shot in the playoffs.
You lost 2 more games than last year. Right. You're a worse team. You're regressing.
Or worst case scenario, they win 9-8, sneak into the playoffs. We're going to hear how bad this team is, how they're going to get body slammed in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there is no redeeming season for the Detroit Lions. But let me make my prediction.
Let's hear it.
No matter what happens, when the Lions go into the first round of the playoffs, they will probably be favorites in Las Vegas, but they will be underdogs in your mind, no matter who they play, where they play, based on what you saw against the Commanders. Now, let's step back. What did we see against the Commanders? We saw a defense that had dudes at Burger King and Best Buy and working at Home Depot before that game. That was no defense. I mean, the Commanders were supposed to do that. Now, I believe in the law of averages in the NFL. If you had an unprecedented rash of injuries on defense, it's not going to happen the second year.
No.
So the Lions are going to come in. I don't want to use the word rested, but they're going to be healthy.
Yeah.
For the playoffs. And if that happens, you're not going to see Jared Goff panic, because Jared Goff turned the ball over too much. There was one pass where you went to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was covered, and he had Sam Laporta in the flats for a first down, ignored it, but he was trying to make huge plays. if he's got a defense behind him, he's not going to try to make stupid plays.
Yeah.
So the Lions will win that playoff game, and they'll be off to the second round or wherever they have to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It was 3 weeks prior, and injuries only got worse, but 3 or 4 weeks prior when they played the Packers, and we got a glimpse of Dan Campbell on the Netflix series Quarterback, which we're going to talk about later. But he said, he didn't think it was fair to put some of these new defensive players in the position to go back on the field with 40 seconds left and defend Jordan Love and that offense, defend their end zone. He didn't want to put it in their hands. Before that game, he says, unless it's 4 for effing 20, we're going for it on fourth down every single time. Like, they knew, that whole team knew that defense was beat up, and they had to take those chances. Jared Goff had to.
He will dial it back a little bit.
A little bit.
At least in crunch time,
yeah.
in the playoffs or late in the season, critical games and stuff. Because if you don't have faith in something, you do something different in another area, and it messes up the whole team concept.
Yeah.
So we will not see that next season.
They're going to get better.
Because, once again, the law of averages tells you they're not going to be beaten up.
Yeah.
So Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, are they going to regress?
Nope.
St. Brown, Penei Sewell, are they going to regress?
No, absolutely not. Definitely not those two.
Is David Montgomery going to be a tiptoe type of running back?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Is Jahmyr Gibbs going to lose his speed?
ABC, no.
Is Sam Laporta instead of being the third best tight end in the NFL, is he going to become the 15th best in the NFL?
Absolutely not.
Will Hutch recover from his leg injury?
To be determined. I think he will. I'm not worried about Hutch, but okay, a little skepticism there.
Okay. With all those things, what we've forgot to do as a fan base and as a media, we talk about everything the Lions have lost, but not what they gained. They've gained experience. They're going to gain health on that defense. That defense is no way in hell they're going to be this beaten up again.
No way.
So last year, I look at it as a blip. They were on their way. They won 15 games last year. Do you remember that?
It's freaking impressive.
Which is impossible to do.
I still can't believe it.
I have told you over and over, if you listen to me, it's impossible to win 15 games in the National Football League.
Yeah.
I don't care how you can expand the season to 20 games. It's impossible to win 15 games. But they did it. They did it with the injuries. They did it with maybe losing confidence in themselves. So all that stuff's going to be out the window. The window is still open. The biggest obstacle is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
That's a really good team.
It's a very good team.
But what did we say about the Eagles last year? Windows closed. Sirianni's a goof. There's turmoil in the locker room. These guys can't get along.
They lost their all-pro center.
Lost all-pro center.
Sound familiar?
They lost one coordinator, not two. So, I mean, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. Yeah. And Terry, Simo313 in the chat asks, don't you MFers know it's 8 a.m. on a Sunday? Says, take y'all asses to church, but like the stream first. Simo313, we appreciate that. Yeah, everybody like this stream. We apprate you all for being
Simo,
here.
you don't understand. This is church.
Yeah, this is church.
Exactly.
Lions church, bro.
You just hear Terry preaching there for 10, 15 minutes?
And plus, my church don't start till 11 a.m.
Now you can watch. You can go to church remote. You got multiple campuses. This is my church, also, Terry. One thing you didn't bring up.
Amen.
That and I don't think.
Help me out, Reverend Broder.
Yeah. Oh well. Thank you, sir. One of the biggest skepticisms of this team, for a lot of Lions fans and people around the country, it's the interior of the offensive line. To me, that may give you reason to not be as confident going into the season. How long is it going to take them to figure out? But what they've done with that interior is another reason why the window is opening. More proof to why the window isn't closing. while they might take a couple weeks to get used to not having an all-pro center and a near all-pro right guard, Brad Holmes, like you said, he took care of that in the draft the last 2 years. He's got youth and college experienced rookies coming in, some learning a new position, but I like the future with Tate Ratledge at center and Christian Mahogany at right guard and Miles Frazier at left guard. Penei Sewell still at tackle. Like, that gives me more hope for the future. That is probably, I'd say, other than opposite Hutch, like the edge opposite Hutch, the number one question mark going into the season, the offensive line, the interior, and these new coordinators. I'm not worried about the coordinators, though.
I think the magic elixir out of this is going to be Ratledge. I just got a feeling this dude is going to be really good. Yes, he's young, and yes, he's going to make some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be able to lead the guys in a rah-rah cheer or whatever and all that BS that you use, but he's going to be very good. And I think, once again, Brad Holmes, is he all of a sudden going to become stupid?
No.
He knew this was coming. So for the last 2 years, he made what we deemed as questionable picks, getting guards and people who might be able to play center.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
You don't think Frank Ragnow, opened the curtain a little bit to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, saying I'm probably calling it quits in the next year or so, if not, maybe not playing this year, months and months ago?
Yeah, no, they knew. And
knew.
Plus, even if he didn't, they knew he had a bad toe.
Mm-hmm.
They know it was agony for him to play. And people praised him for even walking out on the field. So if you're praising the dude for just walking out on the field, there's a good chance that guy may walk away from the game.
Yeah. I
so
would.
they knew.
Walk away from the game. You've made 50 to 75 million, maybe more. But not having to go against Vita Vea and some of these young, insane defensive tackles. I don't blame Frank Ragnow, but the point is that Brad Holmes was prepared for this.
Right.
And maybe we wanted an edge rusher in round 2. Brad Holmes knew, hey, we're going to need interior offensive line. Not a sexy position, but the heart and soul of the Lions team, their offensive line.
And if you can control the offensive line and can control the defensive line, you're going to win a lot of football games.
Yeah. Simo313 in the chat. First off, he said, God bless. Then he said, what's the bigger question mark, offensive line or defensive line?
I'm going to say offensive line because we don't know these young guys.
I'm with you.
But, I mean, you still have Penei Sewell. You still have Taylor Decker.
Yeah.
You still have some talent on that line.
And who coaches that room? Who coaches that position group?
Fraley.
One of the biggest, not hires, but he kept Fraley, who was interviewing for offensive coordinator positions.
Right. He's considered the best offensive line coach in the National Football League.
Yes.
So once again, do you get the theme we have around here? One, you got a lot of talent. B, the National Football League is a young man's game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check these ages. St. Brown, 25. Penei Sewell, 24.
Oh, my gosh.
Aleem McNeil, 25. Hutch, 24. Laporta, 24. You don't reach your peak or prime until you're like 27, 28.
Right.
So although these guys are good, they're not what they're going to be. They're going to be a lot better than what we see today. And they're going to be healthier.
Yeah.
Because the law of averages tell you that you're not going to be as beaten up. I mean, dude, how many people do you parade on a starting defense?
11.
How are you supposed to be the same when you get 14 injuries?
You can't.
On the start. That's more than what you're trotting out there.
Mm-hmm.
That means your whole defense is injured, and then like 3 other dudes you bring in, they're injured too. That's not going to happen again.
No. They're injured. Their roster on the injured reserve would be a top 15 starting defense in the NFL.
Right.
When you think about those guys that were hurt, they were starters on this team, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The only group that didn't get hurt was safety.
Now, I made a statement before last season, that you're going to forget. I looked at the injured reserve, not the injured reserve, but the the reserve
Yeah.
group, and I said, "This is a pretty good team. These are dudes who didn't even make the team, but if they had to play, they'd be pretty good."
Yeah.
Those dudes got injured.
It was down the depth chart. First, second, third stringers. All of it.
Fifth.
They were hiring people from Burger King. They were taking job applicants from LinkedIn or Indeed.com just to field the defense on certain weekends later in the year.
There is I forget the name of it. It's a slider place right by the practice facility.
Yeah.
On the freeway, on the Southfield Freeway. I think it's Braze or something like that.
Bates?
Bates. It might be Bates.
Bates.
They were interviewing the women who were waitressing in there with the little cute little white skirts and the little white
flipping
nurses'
burgers.
shoes, flipping burgers.
Yeah.
Got bunt. They were interviewing them. Say, you want to play defense for the Lions?
Yeah, right. We need a Sam linebacker.
I know you only weigh 125 pounds, but we need another linebacker.
Yeah, you weigh more than Amik Robertson.
They said no, thank
Yeah.
God, but that's to the depths of the Lions were going.
It is. A Wolverine in the chat, Coach Mike Jones says, I'm going to give you guys a different take. Losing the coordinators is going to be a blessing in disguise. If a team stays the same, that means they're getting worse. Big M in the chat, Terry. O-line for sure. Decker needs to rebound, question marks with both guards and at center. Do all the new faces gel together? Coach Mike Jones continues, we're going to have a similar scheme, just different points of emphasis. Yeah, things are going to change, but you trust these guys that Dan Campbell hired. They're a young team, but they replace elite coaching staff with elite coaches.
Right.
You bring in Jahmyr Gibbs, running back coach from Georgia Tech, who coached Bijan Robinson at Texas. You bring him in to run the running back room. Oh, you have your assistant head coach as the running back coach already. We'll move him to the position that he played in the NFL, wide receiver, and he's now coaching Jameson Williams in the wide receiver room. I think if there was one ingredient J-Mo needed to become an elite wide receiver in this league, it might be Scotty Montgomery to get him just everything going in the right direction. Couldn't be a more perfect coach for Jameson Williams.
Now, can't we assume that Jameson Williams is going to be better mentally?
Yeah.
And if he's better mentally, that means no more screw-ups. We're not going to see him gambling or picking up hookers or doing anything, or running around with his gun in his car. Well, that didn't actually happen. I was just making a point.
You're just talking about our second-string quarterback or third.
He's going to be more professional. And
I think so.
To me, the only thing that bothers me about Jameson Williams right now, and maybe it has happened, but I have not seen anything on Twitter or TikTok or Facebook about him and Jared Goff in some California field or somewhere in Michigan or Florida working out together during the offseason.
We haven't.
You need that. Now, we see him and St. Brown hanging out. We see them at the dinner table. We see them throwing passes at each other. And I think you need that chemistry.
Agreed.
To really get going.
Yeah. That was actually one of my one of the things I wish we saw more out of that series on Netflix, Quarterback, was Jared Goff's interaction with J-Mo or Goff's interaction with the offensive line or Ben Johnson. And I don't know if you want to get into quarterback now, but you're right. Jared Goff and J-Mo, that connection, we've seen it start to flourish. It did flourish last year. Can it get to another level? I think so.
You know why you probably didn't see that interaction with him and J-Mo?
Why?
Because it probably didn't happen.
You sure?
You can't create something that's not there.
True. But you think he's not hanging out with the offensive line? Like, we didn't see anything but going to dinner with Amon-Ra St. Brown in Brooklyn. I think it happens. I just don't think they showed it all. Or I don't think they...
No, he's got interaction with the offensive line. Every quarterback does.
Yeah.
Just because we don't see it on quarterback doesn't mean, yes, like you said, it didn't happen.
Right.
But he's smart. You have to kiss your offensive lineman's ass.
You gotta kiss ass.
Or they may do like Lomas Brown did with Scott Mitchell and say, whoops, I just let that guy go, and Scott got hurt. Too bad.
You could see how you didn't see much like pregame interaction, but if you look at some of the clips with Goff coming into the locker room, even on the sidelines, you see the respect that they have for each other, the friendship that he has with Penei Sewell and Decker and Graham Glasgow at the end of the series, apologizing for what happened in the Washington game. They're their own little family within this Lions team, within this Lions family. It's part of what makes this team go. It's part of what makes the running game go, which is their bread and butter. You need that offensive line to be able to run the ball, to set up that pass, to set up that play action, to do what Jared Goff does best and get the ball out quickly to J-Mo, St. Brown, Laporta, Isaac TeSlaa, Tim Patrick. They still have everything on offense. It just all falls on that offensive line to keep him clean.
Okay. Now, you brought up quarterback. You brought up an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen wide receiver on Netflix. We've seen quarterback, 2 seasons of quarterback on Netflix. What's next? What's the next position group you want to see, and what Lions player should be on there?
Terry, that is a great question. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have that conversation in just a few minutes. 30, 60, 130 seconds, we will see. We'll call it 30 seconds. Kool-Aid, take us to commercial, baby.
The Detroit Lions are in the playoff push.
Guys, I'm so freaking proud of you, man. That's the way to show up.
And Woodward Sports is your official, unofficial Lions network. Make sure you wake up every day with Wake Up Woodward, followed by Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and of course, the heavyweights. Detroit's #1 destination for all your grits and Lions coverage. Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
We are back, Terry. Before the break, you asked a question. You want to rephrase it? Ask the people again?
All right, here's the deal. Netflix has had 2 interesting series, NFL series on quarterbacks, which is running right now with Jared Goff, Josh Allen, and wide receivers, which is St. Brown was in that. Which should be the 3rd position group or group that Netflix highlights, and who on the Lions should be a part of that?
Yeah. I'm going to go with defensive backs should be featured.
Okay. I knew you had yours because you had that little cheesy look on your face. Like, I've been thinking about this. I'm ready for this question.
Yep. I actually wasn't ready for how you phrased it, what position group, because my player isn't a cornerback. It's a safety,
Which is a position group.
It is. I'll reveal that in a second. I lump DBs and safeties together. I don't know about the personality of safeties around the league, but I know as a cornerback, there are some big personalities, and I would love to see a handful of guys featured on cornerback. But I said defensive back because I want to see Super Bowl Curb. I want Kirby Joseph on that show. The personality of that guy featured on a Netflix show. Give me all of that. Give me Kirby Joseph for 7 episodes of Netflix safety.
That is a good idea. And you know what we would find out if they did that?
What?
I believe this. Kirby Joseph suckers quarterbacks into making throws they don't want to make.
He sure does.
And they're going to have film of him talking about, this is what I did to so-and-so. I was looking over here, but I knew you wanted to go over here, so I jumped that route. So there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I'm going to cheat a little bit.
Oh, you rip on me every week for cheating.
You know what? Double standards.
All right.
I can do it, but you cannot.
That's fair.
Remember that.
You've earned it. Okay.
Fair I'm game. Cheat a little bit. I would like to see the position coach be coach.
No.
And here's why.
Hey, there's a wrinkle.
Dan Campbell is the personality of this team.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell is completely nuts.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Going outside of him, I think it would be interesting for Netflix to spend time with coaches because they work 20-hour days. I want to see these dudes at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
How are they interacting at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning? You know you're dead tired. Not only that, but you know you got to be back at 6 in the morning. It's not the next day. It's the same day.
20 hours one day?
Yeah, dudes don't leave. I mean, they typically get in like at 6 or 7 in the morning, and they don't leave until 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
How does that work? How is your brain functioning when you do that day after day after day after day? Also, is that necessary? Could you put in a 8 to 10 hour day and be just as effective in preparing your team for the next game?
That's a good point.
Good question.
That's a good point. I think it would be fascinating to see the preparation of coaches, whether it's head coach. Dan Campbell's got all the personality in the world. But also, like you said, how was Ben last year? How was Ben Johnson preparing for, weeks in advance? Why is he running this flea flicker earlier in the season to Penei Sewell against the Cowboys? It's to set up something else. Or the route that St. Brown ran to score a touchdown in the left side of the end zone against the Seahawks. How does that set up the touchdown, the route he ran in touchdown against the Packers later in the season?
And how is that proposed? And is there blowback?
Yeah.
Like some guy, no, we don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I tell you, the most interesting Wednesdays I used to have was outside the University of Michigan coaching office when Bo was the coach.
Okay.
Gary Moeller was there. These dudes were screaming at each other, saying they're bad. You don't know what you're doing. You suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they called each other names. Somebody would have an idea, somebody didn't like it, and you got your ass reamed out.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? When they left the room, they had their arms around each other and say, hey, my bad.
That's what they do.
We're good, right. So I would like to see that. The other thing that would be interesting with coaches is some days they have family day because, the players come at 8 a.m. and they're gone by 3. But then the coaches are there for their 20-hour days.
Right.
But what they do on some Mondays is they have the kids come in. They have the wives come in. And so you need some time with your family. How does that look?
Yeah.
Tony Dungy, when he was coaching at Tampa, he had a rule. If we can't do it in 8 hours, we ain't doing it.
Really?
So he would send his coaches home. They didn't have 20-hour days. And it worked out for him.
That's part of building a culture, or the difficulty in building a culture. What's that balance of, hey, give me everything you got, but also make sure you're spending time with your family. Your life is good, because that'll make you a better coach or a better player.
Once a week, he would have the wives make dishes.
Yeah.
And they would have a potluck.
Tony Dungy?
Yeah.
This is part of what he did?
Mm-hmm. And so he thought it bonded the coaching. It made them happier. Mm-hmm. They didn't burn out as easily. And they still got their work done.
Yeah.
So I am sure Dan Campbell, who, protects his players, because you notice nobody practices on Wednesdays.
Mm-mm.
And I think part of that is he's trying to get people healthy. He wants to make them ready for the next day's game. I am sure Dan Campbell has some type of ritual or something interesting that he does with himself,
mm-hmm.
his wife, his coaches, kids, and their wives. There's something that we don't know about that would be really. So I propose Netflix coaches come to Detroit.
I think that's a great one. I think it's great. We got some in the chat. GAMG John Q says definitely the safeties. Eric Moy for the ladies, tight end. Jake Bates, Vincent E says, let's feature the kickers. That would kind of be fascinating.
No, that would be interesting.
That would be.
Kickers are bizarre.
Yeah, like what are they thinking just standing there on the side? It's like, how are they preparing?
And also, and part of it is because I'm old, but I've never been a flexible guy. I don't know how you get your toe above your head.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
No, absolutely no. I can't even touch my toes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Professional stretching.
How do you get yourself in the mindset of kicking a game-winning 50-yard field goal with 2 seconds left? How do you prepare yourself on the sideline?
I don't know.
And they're talking to themselves.
Oh, yeah. They're like a bullpen pitcher.
Right.
You're just killing time until you need to come in and perform.
Right. And then other dudes will look at him like, I hope you make this kick.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything to you because I don't want to jinx you.
Yeah. You make it, we could give a shit. If you miss it, you're dead to me.
Right.
Like
so there's a dynamic on the field.
Yeah.
And it's dramatic too.
Yeah. Or if you do punter, Netflix's Punter. Jack Fox is a pretty cool guy, and I don't know if you remembered seeing on quarterback in their final game, he kicked a punt, and it locked him in as the punter in the NFL with the most average yards per punt or whatever it was. That he and Jared Goff had a friendly wager at the beginning of the season. If he did it, Goff would get him Bud Light for a year or beer for a year.
Beer for a year.
Killed it.
I don't care what kind of beer it is. Just give me my beer for a year.
A lot of secondaries and branch. DBs, Kirby and Terrion, says Malik Peterson. Jack Campbell, Greg 2025. I love Campbell, Jack Campbell. I don't know if it would be the most exciting series. Like, that dude is all football. Like, that.
Right.
That dude is.
I've got to rewire myself.
Yeah.
I'm just not into Jack Campbell.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's all right, but I just don't think he's all that in a bag of chips.
Do you think he's getting better? Do you think was that a mistake at 18 in the 2023 draft?
They could have done better.
Really?
And maybe it's not Jack Campbell, maybe it's the middle linebacker position. I don't think it's that important in the grand scheme of things. Not as important as defensive end, not as important as safety, not as important as cornerback, not as important as defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Because usually the middle linebacker, no matter how bad the team is, he's going to make like 100 tackles and 95 tackles, and your defense can still suck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. I don't know if I can rebut that.
He is, I guess the middle linebacker is someone who makes tackles, but he doesn't change the complexion of a game.
I think you might be – I don't know my opinion on this yet, but I think you might be right for –
Take your time. You don't have to –
I'll think about it for a sec because I don't think – I think you might be right for previous Lions teams, but I have a hypothesis going into this season that with Kelvin Shepard taking over as defensive coordinator, the linebackers are going to be featured a lot more, going to be more important to what their scheme is, what they try to do on defense. We saw them give relatively big money to Derek Barnes coming off an injury. Mm-hmm. Barnes looked really good at Sam linebacker before he got hurt. Kelvin Shepard was the linebackers coach and pass rush coordinator for the last few years. I just have a feeling, I don't know what it is, but some of the changes away from Aaron Glenn's focus on the cornerback, the DBs, and playing man coverage, all of that, I think Kelvin Shepard is going to bring his own flair to the linebacker room, which might include edge rushers. I think there are going to be some new things that they do, and while I need Anzalone back. Like, I can't believe we're not talking about him as a more important piece to this defense. He's very important to Jack Campbell's development.
He is. I'll tell you why we don't talk about that. Because he's white, playing linebacker, and people don't believe in that.
But what are the three main ingredients or the main ingredients you need on a good defense, Terry?
You need a white guy with a blonde ponytail if you're going to have a good defense. I'm convinced of that.
And that would be Alex Anzalone.
Alex Anzalone.
So why is he not extended yet?
Well, because he doesn't have to be. In the NFL, it's always, you don't do anything to the midnight hour.
Yeah, but they didn't have to extend St. Brown and Sewell, who I know are in the top 4 of their position. But the Alex Anzalone extension is tied more.
Here's the difference. At Penei Sewell and St. Brown, you're going to have to pay them big money. Mm-hmm. So if you wait, you're going to have to pay him even more.
Good point.
Alex Anzalone, you're going to pay him a certain amount, whether you pay him today, pay him tomorrow, pay him next week. It doesn't matter. The numbers are not going to change that dramatically.
So why not have paid him already? You got cap space, and I know you're planning for the future, but he's not going to be a bag.
Because you don't have to.
I know, but you have a Wednesday. The rookies report Wednesday, and the vets report a couple days later. What are we waiting for? Well, actually, how about this, Terry? What surprises you more? That they haven't re-signed Zadarius Smith to play edge, or that they haven't given Anzalone a new 1-year contract for what, $10 million guaranteed?
Why don't you rephrase that question for me? What surprises me least?
What surprises you least, Terry
Because
Foster?
I'm not surprised at either one.
At all.
Really?
Zadarius Smith. You and I want him signed.
Yeah,
The fans want him signed.
sure do.
But the office don't.
Brad Holmes is like, whatever.
He doesn't care.
No. Because he
Not
thinks
one bit.
he's got Aiden Hutchinson, and he's got, who else? Oh,
Davenport.
That's all he needs until he needs more.
I get how that doesn't surprise you.
Now, Anzalone, he doesn't have to sign him now. Just because Anzalone is bitching and moaning on social media doesn't mean you've got to jump and sign him.
Agreed.
He will be in the lineup next year. You deal with it next offseason.
Will he?
That's what you do.
If you're him, are you coming in playing on a non-guaranteed contract?
He has no choice.
This is a guy-
It's the NFL, dude.
I know.
The NFL is unfair to players.
I know, but this guy was part of the rebuild. He's not expensive. You're going to have to give him $10 million guaranteed. That's all he wants, some guaranteed money. Because his mentee, Derek Barnes, got paid. He just wants a little bit more than that guaranteed. He was here when this Lions team was
Maybe you shouldn't
bad.
have signed Derek Barnes. Maybe that's the one.
That is a totally different conversation, and you might be right. I think that was the product of Kelvin Shepard and being like, I know what I want to do as a DC, and I know I need a guy like Derek Barnes playing Sam and Sam only. Forget all this, putting him in coverage and trying to be Jack Campbell or Anzalone. Have him be your Sam linebacker and go get the quarterback. Derek Barnes looked pretty damn good at doing that before he got hurt. Injuries are a question mark. Anzalone is a top 5 coverage linebacker. He's gotten better each and every year. He's not a top linebacker in the NFL, but he, for points of the season, the last couple seasons, he's the heart and soul of that defense. Not the best player, but the heart and soul, the green dot. I think that's a very important player to bring back. The Lions had some of their
I'll
worst,
agree with you.
worst rated defensive games when he was out.
Even when people said Anzalone sucked, I said no. He's doing things out there you don't see. He is important, and I kept hearing how slow he was. But that always goes back to the white dude trying to play a brother's sport or position. He's very good at what he does.
Underrated athlete. Jack Campbell, people don't even associate athleticism with Jack Campbell. That dude is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
That's why they drafted him. Anzalone, he was injured in Week 11 against Jacksonville last year. His first game back was Week 18 versus the Vikings. It was the Lions' 3rd highest rated defensive games of the season. 6 games that he missed were all in their 8 worst games of the season. He's earned his new contract, Terry. And he's a captain. He's a captain of the team.
He has, but once again, hey, you know, if you're over here, I'd thump you upside your head. Because you got a wooden head.
Maybe.
In the NFL, it's almost always last minute, especially with a guy that you don't have to have signed right now.
I know.
There's no need.
I just think last minute, that's what the Zadarius Smith signing is going to be last minute. I thought Anzalone, you want that dude in the locker room. I know it's his choice not being there, but I don't know. He's one of those guys I want to wait till the last minute on.
You don't want to wait.
No, I want him signed. I mean, it is the last minute, so whatever. But, okay, why wasn't he signed on July 1st or June 1st? I don't know. A-Diz 411. Anzo is a glue guy. Vincent E. Jack Campbell's like the Bobby Boucher flying around out there from the Water Boy. Kind of. Simo 313. Please don't let Anzalone go. He's a defensive captain for a reason. I think I got some backers in this chat. Thank you, chat. Pun intended. Some backers in this chat. I didn't even.
Okay.
Not intended.
Good. You need him for one more year.
That's it. You're right.
And
But
then
I think
you can say goodbye.
that 1 year is so important to Jack Campbell. I think
Zadarius Smith, you bring his name up. Isn't Brad Holmes sitting back in his easy chair, smoking a cigar, flicking the ashes on top of our heads, and guys, I keep telling you, we don't need another edge rusher.
Yeah.
So, if Zadarius Smith wants to come in and play for $500, yeah, we'll sign him.
Mm-hmm.
But
no,
obviously there is some. He's asking for money, and here's something I don't get. I'll admit this: Lions always under the cap, millions under the cap, but they don't have money.
Being cheap.
Well, that money is directed or planning to go elsewhere, whether it's Hutch, Brian Branch, Laporta, who's a second-round pick that's coming up soon, or J-Mo, T.J. Watt, Trey Hendrickson. Like, there's a lot of money that is going to be spent very, very soon. It's just about who. I understand.
You can't keep everybody. They're going to have to make decisions on people. That's why a guy like J-Mo might be out.
Not because he isn't important, but he's going to be $35 million.
Right. The NFL works that if you are a bad team, you can keep everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But if you draft well and your team is ascending, your team is a Super Bowl contender, you got to pay the piper.
Yeah. That's why if you are going to make trades, I'd hesitate people that want to make trades and throw in all these draft picks, whether it's a player and multiple draft picks. It's like if you're making a trade, it's for a player you're going to spend money on. So if you're going to spend your money on a player, you need young players on rookie contracts to fill the holes left by spending, call it $40 million on a Pittsburgh edge rusher or something like that. 35 mil for a Bengals edge rusher, or 35 on a soon-to-be number one type wide receiver in J-Mo.
True, but if you're saying we're putting all our eggs in the basket to win a Super Bowl this year or next year, I can understand where you take F those picks. Get rid of them.
It all depends.
And get that guy or guys you figure are going to put you in that position.
Do you think?
I understand that.
Do you think J-Mo's not a guy that is that important to winning a Super Bowl this year?
He is, but I'm saying in the future, J-Mo's a guy that since you can't sign everybody, you got to make a decision. Do I want J-Mo or do I want Laporta? Do I want J-Mo or do I want Penei Sewell? Well, Sewell's already signed, but do I want J-Mo
or Brian Branch?
St. Brown? Or Brian Branch.
Yeah.
You got to make those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the tough part that Brad Holmes can draft. We know he can assemble a team. The difficult thing for him is going to be, how much of this team can I keep? And I've got to keep drafting young guys who are hungry, who believe in the whole Dan Campbell stuff, and will run through a wall for him. I got to keep getting those guys.
Yeah. Drafting third-round quarterbacks or
seventh-round edge rushers.
Yeah. Third-round defensive tackle projects.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've talked a lot about that 2023 NFL draft, and the top four guys they draft kind of hide some mistakes that happened later that weekend. You had your Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, Branch to kick off that draft, but then the most intriguing position battle of this training camp and preseason is that number 2 quarterback, Hendon Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The more
Hendon
time
Hooker's
that goes
not
by,
your backup quarterback anymore.
No,
he's your third guy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You think Kyle Allen's the backup, or the backup is somewhere else out there?
It's Kyle Allen. It could be anybody. They could bring you in, and you probably make. All I know is when they needed him last year, I saw Hendon Hooker taking snaps. And they said, don't read anything into that.
Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bridgewater. What did I say?
You said Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
Yeah. They went Bridgewater instead of Hendon Hooker in a big game.
And Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, against Washington.
Right. And Dan Campbell was talking a lot about Teddy. I didn't hear Hendon.
No. See, I think if if Goff were, knock on wood, no, I don't want this to happen, but if Goff were to go down early in the season for an extended period of time, your quarterback is Hendon Hooker. I think if Goff has to miss a quarter or gets concussed and has to miss the last 6 minutes of a fourth quarter, I think that's where you go with the Teddy Bridgewater, and this case, Kyle Allen. I think the Bridgewater, the Kyle Allen, the Nate Sudfeld, they're in that room. They're aligned for a specific reason. It's not to be the solution to Jared Goff if he gets hurt. It's to help Jared Goff prepare week to week. It's another veteran eyes in the quarterback room. Hendon Hooker is the more talented of those quarterbacks. So if you lose Goff, if you say the season's over, I have a hard time arguing with you. So they're going to give Hendon Hooker, who's such a unique type of quarterback, they're going to give the ball to him. But in crunch time, in a small sample size, in one quarter, you need a quarterback to come in and make smart plays. Kyle Allen is coming in. Unless we see something different out of Hooker.
Kyle Allen is your backup. Kyle Allen is coming in to the game if Goff is injured for one play, 1 second, or one season.
See, that's where I disagree. One season, I think they go with Hooker.
So they're willing just to give up the season.
Yeah.
I think they have a better shot at winning with Kyle Allen than they do Hendon Hooker.
Maybe. I think Hooker has a much lower floor. Like your team the floor could really fall out with Hooker, or he has the potential to elevate the team more than Kyle Allen could elevate the team. Kyle Allen could come in and just be consistent, which is what you want.
All right, let me try to put this to you in simplest terms.
Okay, T.
You ready, young man?
Okay, Tari.
Last year's Tari. By the way, last year, the Lions were in a playoff situation. Jared Goff got his bell rung.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, who hadn't been with the team, coaching high school, was retired, and they brought him in rather than Hendon Hooker. That tells you everything right there. Now, don't
almost.
Almost
everything.
Almost my ass. Don't buy don't read anything into that, because teams spin things. Teams lie to us.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lions did that to us last year. I know we want to believe it's a better organization, but I don't care who you are. You lie, and you have to sometimes, and you have to protect your players. The Lions protected Hendon Hooker rather than saying, oh, yeah, this guy is not what we thought he was going to be. They just said, well, we're going to play Bridgewater instead, but don't read anything into it. No. That's them protecting their guy.
Mostly. I agree with you 95%. But I think
But that 5%
is a big one.
Tell me about that 5%.
That 5% is the worry that Hendon Hooker is going to come in and turn the ball over. That he hasn't had much time, if any, in regular season play in the NFL, that he's going to try to do he's for the most part a rookie. He's a damn old rookie. Dude's like 30 years old, but he's a rookie. He's going to come in and just try to do too much. Teddy Bridgewater knows.
Riddle me this, Batman. Why did they draft Hendon Hooker?
As a possibility to take over for Jared Goff if Jared Goff proved not to be the franchise quarterback.
So now you're saying, and what we've seen is Jared Goff was injured, Jared Goff was out, but you didn't bring in the guy that you drafted to be in this position.
Long term. But for one play.
Short term.
In the short term, they had no room. Just how we started the show, they had no room for error against the Commanders. Zero. That defense was beat up. They needed someone to come in and not make mistakes. They had faith enough that they have the right pieces on offense where Hendon Hooker, just flip the ball to J-Mo on a reverse and we're going to score a touchdown. Now, okay, Hendon Hooker.
They didn't even trust him to do that.
Hooker? Mm-hmm. Right. They don't trust him. They don't trust him to be the smartest, most consistent quarterback. But if we're talking a sample size across 12 games of a season, if for whatever reason you don't have Jared Goff, it's the Hendon Hooker show. Even if he ends up not being the long term, that at least showcases him around the NFL, maybe raises his trade value. You get a pick out of it. Kyle Allen is not a franchise quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is not a franchise quarterback. And yes, Malik Peterson, Nate Sudfeld is not a franchise quarterback either.
You say.
Yeah. They're in there to help Jared Goff. It's another mine for Jared Goff. Mark Brunell is still on this team, another underrated retainment.
Why is Hendon Hooker here?
I don't know anymore. I don't believe Hendon Hooker is that guy. I'm just saying, between the two they got behind him, they're both there for specific reasons. Fortunately, now we have this emergency third quarterback role in the NFL. You only need 2 on a game day. They can just stash Hooker or Allen as that emergency quarterback. This is the conversations we're having as Lions fans. We don't have to talk about training camp position battles and who's going to start at this position. Like, just the interior of the offensive line. We're talking about the backup quarterback and 4th and 5th guys on the depth chart.
Here's what I'm talking about if I'm an assistant coach of the Lions. Fellas, I understand why Brad Holmes drafted him, because he could have been a first-round pick, but he was injured, so he was hoping they could take over for Jared Goff. Well, fellas, that ain't happening. His practices have been okay.
Yeah.
They've been sluggish. We don't trust him to put him in a tight situation. We can't trade him, so what do we do with him? Bye.
It might be. That could be a mistake. Are there any guys you would draft, or there were some big names drafted after Hooker in that draft? You pointed one out to me. One who is on a team with some stud wide receivers, but Terry, I also want to ask you when we get back from break, because there was a former Lion.
I told you not to say the word break.
Break?
Yes. Just say we're going to discuss a possible wide receiver that could be on this team next on the Lions Weekly Update with Terry Foster and Matt Broder. Bam.
Cut to commercial. I mean, no.
It's part beauty, part beast. It's for those who dare to be different, for those who want to stand out, and for those who are built for more. The all-new Ineos Grenadier combines strength and style for an unmatched driving experience. Sold exclusively at Feldman Ineos of Waterford.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Guys, I encourage you to go check out the Judgment Free Zone this summer. That is Planet Fitness. We're all summer long. Teens 14 to 19 years old, Terry, they work out for free. So if you're a teen looking to get in shape for your upcoming football season, basketball season, volleyball season, whatever it is, go on and check out Planet Fitness. You can work out for free. And even if you're not a high school player, a high schooler who wants to join for free, you can go join Planet Fitness. You don't have to
tell me that. My son did that.
Your son did it?
Yeah.
I might have the screen just on my face, but Terry Foster's son joined Planet Fitness for free, checking it out. I assume he likes it, but anyone of all ages can go, can work out for $14.99 their normal pass, $24.99 their black card. I belong to Planet Fitness. I have a black card. I love it. What's the phrase? Why lift? Why pay more for the same weights, for lifting the same weights?
Bam.
You got to go check out Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Essential.
Attaboy.
Terry, we back.
All right.
We teased a little bit before the break.
We did.
Oh.
Well, you can say it now.
I can say break now?
I told you why not to say break when you go into break.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're hard-headed. That's all right.
You said I had a wood head earlier today.
Yeah, you got a wooden head.
I fit Woodward Sport. I fit.
You like Pinocchio?
No, I don't lie.
No, not the line part, but
Terry.
Geppetto?
Pinocchio is made of wood.
He is. Yeah. You saying something about my big nose?
No, you got a wooden head.
Yeah, I think that was a nose joke.
No.
I think that
nose joke.
They get my profile in this angle often on this show. Hey, I get it. Thanks, Dad. I was born this way. What can I do? Terry,
make sure you're breathing.
I smelled some controversy. On ESPN. Rarely do we even talk about the national broadcast anymore these days, but on ESPN, Detroit native Allen Robinson has a new job working for ESPN, and I want to say made some controversial picks to his top 5 wide receiver duos in the NFL. Do you know who he picked number 1?
Detroit Lions.
He did. St. Brown and J-Mo.
Homer.
How do you feel about that? He picked Amon-Ra St. Brown as number 1 and J-Mo. St. Brown and J-Mo as number 1. Bengals, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins at number 2. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith from the Eagles at number 3. Number 4, Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua of the Rams. And at number 5, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens of the Cowboys. George Pickens of the Cowboys.
Okay.
So do you agree with him?
No.
Okay.
Is he close? I think St. Brown is a number 1 talent. Mm-hmm. I need to see more from J-Mo. When you talk about potential, they could be the number 1 wide receiver group in the National Football League. And if you want to include tight ends and throw in Laporta, they could be too. But I need to see more from J-Mo. But here's what I hear. Wow, he got 1,000 yards receiving. That doesn't mean anything to me. Now when you're playing 17 games, 1,000 yards ain't what it used to be.
Fair. What if I told you they were the only duo in the NFL to each have 1,000 yards?
It's cute.
Still doesn't mean anything?
No, it still doesn't move the needle for me.
Who do you put above them? One group or a couple? Because I have them high on my list, but Terry, I got to admit, I have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins at number 1. I think Jamar Chase is number 1, if not number 2 wide receiver in the NFL, and T. Higgins is great as well.
Right. Here's why I'm surprised the Lions were picked number 1. St. Brown is a hell of a receiver. This dude might be the top receiver in the NFL, but he doesn't stretch the field. He doesn't have,
they say,
blinding speed.
Yeah.
We don't see the over-the-shoulder catch from 40 yards. Usually those are the receivers that they elevate.
Yeah.
St. Brown is like a running back playing wide receiver. You need 8 yards, which is very important. You go to St. Brown over anybody else. But if you need a big crunch play, you're not going to go to St. Brown. Or you don't think to go to St. Brown. You could.
I'm going to St. Brown because he's reliable.
He reminds me of Golden Tate.
Yeah. I like that.
He's going to get open.
He's better, by the way.
If you hit him for 8 yards and you need 12, he's going to get those extra 4 yards. So he's very important. He's not going to give you the splash play, but he's going to give you the right play.
That's what this team needs. And then they put guys who can give you this splash play around him, like J-Mo, like Gibbs, like Khalif Raymond, even Laporta.
I want to see J-Mo in the lab a little bit more.
Yeah. I can't argue it there. J-Mo's not even close to his ceiling in route running, hands, confidence. He's got confidence in terms of how good he can be, but confidence running routes, confidence catching balls. We saw it expand last year. I think back to that Houston Texans game, which wasn't the best game for the offense by any means, but there were a couple throws late that Jared Goff trusted him. You know, he got sandwiched between those two guys, I want to say in the fourth quarter, hung onto the ball and had to catch his breath for a couple minutes. J-Mo is elevated, and I think he's going to have a monster year. I don't know what that looks like, but I think he's going to be great and will solidify them as a top 3 duo in the NFL this year.
Now, when we talk about top, there's no right or wrong answer. When we talk about top wide receiver duos, do we include the running game? Because J-Mo is going to be very important running sweeps and
I think
doing
so.
his thing.
I think so, and I don't know if that elevates a duo like McLaren and Deebo Samuel in Washington. I don't know, but when you look at the number 2s on these lists, the T. Higgins, the Devontae Smith, George Pickens, Jordan Addison. J-Mo has a completely different skill set. And in the running game, you can give him that end around at any point on the field, and he's gone. He's gone. He's toast. He's gone. 7, 6. Then Jake Bates will give you 7.
Right.
I'd factor it in.
Part of why I'm not feeling J-Mo as much as other people are, it's not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
I just say sometimes J-Mo, just let him fly.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so reluctant to do that. But when they do it, it seems to work.
Yeah, Chicago against Chicago outside. Bomb. I heard Jared Goff couldn't throw it that far. Against
what I heard.
Against
maybe
the Cowboys.
Maybe that's why they don't call it.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of Netflix's Quarterback was that interaction with with Jared Goff and Ben Johnson, where was it after that play in Chicago? I don't know. Ben Johnson comes over and is like, they said you can't throw outside. Like it was all everything the critics would say. Ben Johnson reminded Jared Goff. He was like, yeah, that's what I was told. Like I thought I'm going to do that. He can throw the ball anywhere on the field.
Sure he can.
Did you like that? Did you like Quarterback?
I liked it, didn't love it.
Okay.
And I can't tell you why. It just seemed it was cool, but something was missing.
I can appreciate that. I wanted a little more football behind the scenes in the locker room in Allen Park, like preparing for a game. They did a lot of that with Kirk Cousins last season. With this one, I thought hands down Jared Goff was the best segment of the 3. I thought he had the most personality. His interaction with Kristen Goff was the most wholesome yet entertaining, sort of family life part of the show. Joe Burrow to me was boring.
See, I like Joe Burrow better.
Why?
Because he was trying on funky clothes, which I thought was cool.
Kind of. I mean, okay. You're entitled to your opinion.
He's, was battling with the fact that he could have been the MVP if his team didn't stink. So I just thought that whole interaction was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to see, like to me, it was, I thought Joe Burrow was boring. I'm like, how do people connect to this? But his teams do. His team does. Like, there is an aura about Joe Burrow. He is so talented. The dude he can make any play on the football field. And his team connects with him in some way. I don't know. I just always pictured Smoking Joe and this cool guy coming out of LSU with the cigar as having a little more swagger, a little more personality, but kind of off the field, he's just Joe Burrow. Likes his family.
He got robbed.
Yeah,
somebody robbed his house.
Good. They spent way too much. They spent way too much time on that.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
but dude, pro athletes don't get their houses robbed every day.
No, they don't.
It's just something that just has happened recently. But that's interesting. That's like news.
It is, but
slipping.
Maybe it's because I live in Detroit and I was focused on golf. Like, it just didn't do it for me. I liked Cousins more than I like Burrow.
You're in love with golf. That's the problem.
I have a thing for golf.
Kirk Cousins had a great storyline. He lost his job.
I know. I liked that.
And then he was like so cool about it. He called up Michael Penix Jr. Just saying, that was God bless you, love you, good luck. Who does that?
Nobody. People these days don't. I'd like to think Jared Goff would. But I liked hearing that part, like the adversity that Kirk Cousins had to go through. And to hear his wife say, yeah, right after we found out, I go in the garage and he's on the phone with Michael.
Right.
Saying, Michael, the job is yours and I'm going to support you. Like that after getting signed to a 4-year, $180 million contract, thinking you're going to be the starting quarterback and leaving your old team. I like that. I like the little bit of sauciness he shows. Like, it was Kirk Cousins' version of sauciness, which was, they didn't want to go past, the Vikings didn't want to go past 1 year. So, all right, we're going to ATL.
And didn't Kirk Cousins screw himself? Because he was on the phone all the time with his assistant coaches because he likes to record messages.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted to himself, I'm not good. I can be better.
Yeah.
Athletes don't admit that they're bad.
No.
But he did to his coaches, and maybe they said, hey, if this guy thinks he sinks, well, maybe he does.
You might be right there. I didn't think about that angle. At the time, Kirk Cousins he just hurt his shoulder and his elbow and couldn't even throw. He's not mobile anymore because of his Achilles. It really was time.
So maybe Jared Goff was number 3 on the list.
I have him at number 1. I have him at number 1.
Course.
And I think my favorite part was episode 1. My favorite storyline of Goff was him actually opening up about what happened with the Rams, about the Rams trade. He finally had some personality around that situation. Until now, and this is why I love Jared Goff, he said all the right things to the media and in interviews up until now. And I'll still say it's the right thing, but he was more honest. And he was like, yeah, I was blindsided. I didn't know this was coming. He even said, maybe if they handled it with a little more maturity, things would be different. But no, he's got some angst towards the Rams organization. Part of what drives him to Detroit. And then to hear how the call from Brad Holmes, then the call from Dan Campbell, he did a complete 180 in terms of his mindset, his confidence, and these people really want me here. I don't care what record they have. It's Detroit. I don't know anything about it. They want me.
Yeah,
this could be the perfect spot for me.
I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how high your profile is. I don't care about any of that. But if you are playing for someone who believes in you, who wants you, you're going to be a better player.
Yes. Yeah, and he has been. He's grown with this team. You can see how much Dan Campbell loves Jared Goff. That's his guy. That's the guy Dan Campbell knows he's tying his career to, and he's not blinking.
And he should. For all the credit we give to Dan Campbell, here's the thing.
Yeah.
There was a possibility Jared Goff could be very mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was, you're not going to see 15 wins. You're not going to see an NFC championship game. You're not going to see you can be in position to go to a Super Bowl. We would be talking about Hendon Hooker, no matter how bad he is. Hey, can he replace Jared Goff now? That would be the timeline. That would be the scenario now.
If he was mediocre.
Think about it. Nah, doggone it. Now you're making me itch. I hate you. Think about this. What if Jared Goff stunk? Okay, you have a Lions team that is showing some promise. You have a Lions team that could possibly make a Super Bowl. But think about this. If Jared Goff stinks, you're not talking about that.
No.
You may be talking about a Lions team that, they make the playoffs and they're dangerous, but they can't do anything.
Right.
Now, who's going to replace Jared Goff? Oh, Hendon Hooker sucks. Can't go there. We're gonna bring in Teddy Bridgewater now, who's retired.
Yeah.
This franchise would be in a whole lot of hurt. And you remember I told you about the window closing early, how I'm sick and tired of hearing that? Maybe I get up here and say, hey, Broder, bro.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this, but the window is closed.
If Jared Goff was sucking.
Stunk,
yeah.
right.
That I could get down with.
Because they don't have his replacement.
No. But that's a reminder that what you have, it might not be greener on the other side. Who else is out there that's going to be better than Jared Goff that is attainable? You're not trading for one of these top guys. You're not signing Geno Smith in the offseason or Sam Darnold. Like, you're not upgrading.
No, but you could draft some young quarterback who's mobile, which a lot of people want, and maybe by now he would be in position to take over.
They thought they did that.
Thought they did that, but maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
Probably did not do that with Hendon Hooker.
Hey, you may not believe me. I have no problem if the Lions continue to draft quarterbacks. Like, I like how the 49ers do it. Draft a quarterback late every year. Use one of those draft picks, especially now that you have an established roster, a deep roster. Go take your shot and see what he's like behind Goff, and like the Patriots did for all those years, develop Garoppolo, develop, these are on different levels, but Jacoby Brissett. Like, they don't have to take Jared Goff's job for it to be a worthwhile draft pick. So keep picking them. That's not a shot at Jared Goff. I do think the Hendon Hooker pick was hey, if Jared Goff doesn't work out, this might be the guy. A possible first-round pick if he didn't get hurt.
I don't have a problem with the Hooker pick.
No.
Because you gambled. Every gamble doesn't work. And maybe he could have developed into something. You were counting on that.
Yeah.
He had potential. He looked good in college, and there's a possibility that you could have gotten a steal there.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Lions, whatever they do, turns to gold.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably thinking, okay, Hendon Hooker, he's going to turn to gold.
Yeah. Brad Holmes sees something.
He didn't, but guess what? You're still a Super Bowl contender. Jared Goff is playing well. You don't need Hendon Hooker right now.
Right. One of the things quarterback taught me, Terry, is how this team really does rally around Goff. Like he's just like them, and I say it like his personality and his identity matches the Detroit Lions. And while we've seen a relatively, for lack of a better term, boring Jared Goff in the media, behind the scenes with his guys, he's got some swagger. He's got some personality. You saw him on the sideline talking to St. Brown. I wish I remember which game it was. It might have been the Titans or the Jaguars game. And he said to St. Brown, he says, and we've been on the other side of this shit. I wish we could feel bad for teams like that, but I don't. We've been through some shit. Like, he's experienced both sides of being a quarterback in the NFL. Absolute trash teams that are fighting for first overall draft picks and going to the Super Bowl and losing to Tom Brady. He didn't throw a touchdown, but neither did Tom Brady. I'll get that in there.
Best part of Jared Goff is his wife.
She's great.
She is. I mean,
I do love her.
She's beautiful.
Smoking hot, respectfully.
My wife doesn't like her voice.
Really?
She just says it's too whiny.
Most people don't like my voice. Whatever.
What's wrong with your voice?
I don't know. It's goofy.
Well, you're goofy, not your
Nothing
voice.
wrong with
See, it
that.
fits. It fits.
Nothing wrong.
It is.
Nothing wrong, Broder.
You
Nothing
saw
wrong.
Kristen Goff, and you talked earlier about like the coaches' wives, and with Tony Dungy planning the potluck each week. Kristen Goff and the other wives, they have before the Monday Night Football game, they have their little wives and girlfriends. The shopping at the market. I don't want to undersell it, but she's helping coordinate things with that. With the significant others and bonding with them, keeping them a close-knit group. It's all kind of fitting. I love, too, how they showed the first win that the Lions had with Goff, that they were 0-10-1 playing the Vikings.
Girls at the beach.
Girls at the beach, the most important moment of her career. This is her first shoot with Sports Illustrated swimsuit. You not only got to see her reaction to that, finding about it on set. Shut up. And how she genuinely was like, we did it. Like, we came to Detroit. It's been rough, but we did it. There's something special here. I love that. You also reminded me, that was St. Brown's coming out party. That moment kind of catapulted St. Brown and this team into, wait, you're right. We're okay. We're gonna win. We're on the right trajectory. There was a big moment that game, especially against the Vikings.
I am tired of Lion first wins. It annoys me. I was tired of when Matt Millen got his first win and is hugging Bill Ford like they just won the Super Bowl. I was annoyed by that. So what? Jared Goff got his first win after 10 games. I'm tired of that. But you don't have to deal with that anymore.
Right. I get that. It just signifies the team was shitty. But there still has to be a moment. Like, we talk about the moment Sheila Ford Hamp came out and said, I trust these guys. Bear with us. Lions fans. Hold on. One more loss after that, and then it was on. Engines revved. This team is for real. We got the right coaches. We got the right formula. That win isn't like something we're going to look back on as the most important moment in Lions history, but I like that they showed it. I like that they showed how that affected everything on Netflix. And you look forward years when they're covering like the Texans game, and there's a lot of the coordinators. Ben Johnson, Benedict Arnold Johnson is now the Bears coach. And what is Jared Goff going to do without the coordinator that made him?
All right, Mr. Goff. You know what they could have done to make the Jared Goff segment better?
What?
They could have played up Detroit screaming Jared Goff more.
Okay.
Did. I mean, they did sort of. They threw it in at Red Wing game and at a concert.
At the draft.
But what you could have done is when you introduced Jared Goff, you have Lion fans screaming, Jared Goff, Jared Goff, Jared Goff. And then you go into his storyline because it played a huge role in Detroit.
Yeah.
Where do you go and somebody's chanting somebody's name? Nationwide.
Yeah, nationwide.
And there's been some great athletes. You didn't go to a Golden State Warriors game and they're chanting Barry Bonds, Barry Bonds. They didn't do that. You didn't go to a New England Patriots game and they're screaming Carl Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski. That doesn't happen. Here in Detroit, Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So I would have played that up even more rather than making it as a throw-in.
I'm into that.
Okay.
That was a moment that unified Detroit sports fans as like, hey, this team's coming. It's spreading to Little Caesars Arena. It's spreading to Comerica Park. It's even spreading all the way up to Ann Arbor in the Big House on a game that doesn't involve the Lions at all. You're hearing Jared Goff chants. Mm-hmm. You know, Terry, one of my biggest takeaways from watching the show was that Jared Goff is also a smart football player, a really smart football player, and has command of this offense, has control of this team through adversity. And Ben Johnson, while he is a brilliant mind and might have success in Chicago, definitely helped Goff revitalize his career, wasn't the only ingredient in the stew. Jared Goff is smart. One of the key moments in that Texans game, which was one of Jared Goff's worst games ever, 5 interceptions, Lions ended up winning, by the way, was later on in that game. He's in the huddle maybe after a timeout. He's had a bad game, and he's like talking to himself. Ben Johnson can't hear him, but he's like, give me Wasp. Give me Wasp. Give me this one play to continue to throw it down the field to Laporta. And what do you know? Call comes in a few seconds later. Ben Johnson called the exact same play. They were on the same page. They knew what they needed at the right moment, both from a play calling perspective and what does this team need right now? Like I'm not going to stop gunslinging. I'm not going to stop throwing the ball downfield. We need a big play. I think this one's going to work. I want Ben Johnson to call this right now, and he does, and it works.
You know what you need next year? You need sometimes for Jared Goff to receive a play and shake it off. Say, no, we're going to run trip right 47 blitz L, whatever. I don't know any of the plays. But you need him to take more command of the offense.
Yeah.
He knows how Ben Johnson thought. He knows what were critical plays. He knows what plays he wanted to run. So now he needs to say, hey, fellas, sometimes we're not running that play.
I can appreciate that. Then the offense line, like, all right, it's our guy.
In other words, take more command of the offense.
Yeah. He might with Johnny Morton taking over. Mm-hmm. Maybe Jared Goff, and maybe Johnny Morton tells him, Jared Goff, if you're feeling something else, the keys are yours.
But you got to check in with the fellas.
Yeah.
If they're feeling it, go ahead. If they're like, oh, Jared, are you serious? Then maybe you don't run that play.
Yeah. I think you're right. Well, Terry, we're here right at the end. Can I steal 3 extra minutes from you guys in the studio?
Steal them.
Because there's some buzz around one of our best young players that hit his own social media accounts this week that I think is just exciting to talk on for 2-3 minutes before we hit this week where training camp begins. The rookies report on Wednesday. And that was Jahmyr Gibbs at one of his football camps. Told the media that he's had to learn some new formations and routes because John Morton, has him setting up outside as a wide receiver more than he ever has yet in his career. Does that excite you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when he was drafted, people would say, Brad Holmes, why are you drafting a running back, you dumb piece of shit?
Yeah, dope.
But what did he say? I'm drafting a weapon. So that to me said, yeah, he's going to be a running back, but he's going to be a slot receiver. They're going to put him in different positions. I like that because of his speed and his shiftiness. He can do more things than run out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear that. I'm glad that they're going to do that. And I think they may unlock some more things out of Jahmyr Gibbs, because he's a special talent.
Yeah. Can you imagine, play pre-snap, you got Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield next to Goff. Goff sends Jahmyr Gibbs out wide. You got Gibbs, you got J-Mo, you got St. Brown, Montgomery, Laporta all on the field at the same time. Who do you guard?
Well, how about this? You have two receivers on the right side. They're Gibbs and J-Mo. And then one of them's going deep. The other one is coming back. Where do you go?
Whatever you decide, you can't hesitate, because either of those two need are a split second, and they are gone.
Maybe instead of saying J-Mo, just let him fly, maybe you say Jahmyr, let him fly.
Mm-hmm. They got a linebacker on him. It would be unfair. Well, Terry, 9:32. We're 2 minutes over.
Boy.
This is fun.
Good time. Yes, sir.
Sean will be back. I think he was so jealous of Sam Laporta. He had to go travel abroad and get blessed by the Pope too, right? Or no, he was in Greece with his family.
Maybe the Pope went down to see him.
Maybe. He is from Chicago, the Pope. Pope Leo.
What's that got to do with Greece?
I don't know.
All right.
You said I'm goofy.
Well, we're going to come back next week with young Sean, and we're going to do it again on the Lions Weekly Update.
That was it.
Show.
On your way out, please hit the like button. If you're in the live chat or not the live chat, put a comment below. Thanks for joining us this Saturday, Terry.
Thank you.
Terry Foster, this is a legend. We got Willie. We got Detroit Kool-Aid, Brandon Dent, and JB Smooth in the TD booth. JB's teaching some new things. A lot of exciting stuff coming up here at Woodward Sports. What a pleasure to do this show with you, Terry.
My pleasure.
Lions report on Wednesday. This season starts on the 31st of July. We'll see you next Sunday at 8 a.m. on the Lions Weekly Update. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
The Detroit Lions are in the playoff push.
Guys, I'm so freaking proud of you, man. That's the way to show up.
And Woodward Sports is your official, unofficial Lions network. Make sure you wake up every day with Wake Up Woodward, followed by Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and of course, the heavyweights. Detroit's #1 destination for all your grits and Lions coverage. Woodward Sports.